Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Owl Nighter. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how I write my notes. Alright, let's start off. So I used this method for memorizing base classes like social studies, English, and some science classes like biology and physics and maybe psychology too. Now this method that I'm going to be showing you is a very popular method that most students use. But I have a twist to it. Like most of you probably already guessed, I'm talking about the Cornell method. But hear me out, this is not the old Cornell method, but I have my own twist to it. So let's get started. This is the old version of the Cornell notes where you write your notes here. You write your important facts, here, and at home you do your summary. But no, this method did not help me at all, and I'm going to be showing you my method. So let's get started. I'm going to draw a border here to show you my paper, what it looks like, because it's easier to see on a whiteboard than to actually show you paper. So I usually draw a section just like normal Cornell notes, and I leave 2 to 3 inches for this section. As you can probably already tell, I don't write a summary or leave a section for the summary because I find it useless. But if it helps you, go ahead and do it. Now, how I write my notes in class. So I start off with a title. Now I usually keep my titles very simple and generic, but I have a little color to it or a little artsy thing just to make it more interesting. Now, I think this is the most important thing, is to write a date on the right-hand side, just so you know when did you take this and if it's part of this exam or the next one. This is very important if you're writing it on a loose paper, so it doesn't, when it gets mixed up with other things, you know what it is and what date you took it on. In this big section, I write my in-class notes. Now usually this section is not super neat by any means, and let me be honest with you, I don't necessarily go home and rewrite my notes every time because a high school student doesn't have so much time to spare, and that's not my priority. That's why I came up with this method to help me memorize my notes and understand them faster without rewriting them. So let's go on to it. Now the magic. The magic of these notes is this in this section. So what I do is I go home with my notes, usually 3 or 4 pages, and I reread the notes I took in class. Now, rereading them for 3 to 4 pages usually takes me about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes. Now, the trick is, what you should do at home is highlight the key points on your notes and then writing test-like questions and then writing test-like questions on the notes that you highlighted. This could be a little difficult for freshmen that didn't take the class yet or don't have an idea how that teacher thinks. So after the first test, you usually get a hint in how the teacher have his questions or what they emphasize on. So after taking the first test, think about how the first test was and how the kind of question were, and write them on that base. And let me show you an example of what I mean. So I find these notes from my US history class and last year, my junior year, and this is how I do it. I write the title, which is A Conservative Tide, and I kind of have like a, I don't know, like a kind of just a cursive thing to it, just to make it more interesting than it already is. And the date, that's very important. And these notes, as I remembered, are from a PowerPoint. So what I do is, my teacher has a title for each PowerPoint or each section in those notes, and I write that with a star next to it and a different highlighter. And then every bullet point that he makes or the PowerPoint says, I have an arrow. Now, if there is a list of things, I do bullet points so I can know which one section is off. Now, let me show you how I actually write it. Let's read this section. In the 1970s, right-wing grass groups across the country emerged to support social issues such as blocking the Equal Rights Amendment, opposing abortion, no more court order, and federal enlightenment. This is the section I write at school without any highlighting or any colors. It's just plain black. And then I go home and highlight the important things on it. And then I write test-like question. So what did the right-wing grass group support? Now, as you can see, I have a 4 there to help me, or it's a hint that to tell me there's 4 things that they supported I should know about. So when I'm studying, I say them all, or I memorize them all. Talking about that, this method is really important because I tend to kind of cheat when I'm studying and I look at it and be like, oh, I know this, and read it. But that doesn't stick in my head as covering the whole notes and just reading the question and answering it by itself and then reading it and see if I got it right or wrong. This is why this method is very important and critical, and you will probably memorize them while you're highlighting and writing questions about them. That's for me. I do memorize and understand them better. That's why this method will get you an A in any class that you try it in. This is it for this video, and if you try this out and it actually helps you, comment below and tell us about your experience. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next. Bye!